Good morning, traders. I know I was only meant to be sending out a video tomorrow, but I thought it would be good to do a quick summary as we have had some movements on the markets. One thing it's good to point out that I have closed out all our positions now. So as you can see from our trading log and risk management spreadsheet, that we're cl completely closed on all our positions. I will go through where we got out, why we got out. But just a quick recap. As you know, we put in $10 and we're on a mission to turn $10 into $10,000. We will then go on to 10,000, oh sorry, 100,000 and then a million and then hopefully on to 10 million. But let's just see how we get on for now. We have reached $54.28. This is a total P&L of 442% return, which is about a 5.4x. Now that is in about 2, 3 weeks. So not too bad. And our trade accuracy right now is about 77.8%. So looking good, everything closed, and pat on the back to anyone who's been following this. Now, just to bear in mind, we are only up to $54, but that is a 5.5x. If we do that a couple of times, we're going to be hitting the thousands and 10,000s very quickly. So we need to look in terms of percentage gains because those obviously compound as time goes along and gives us that exponential growth that we're looking for. But this also puts us firmly up into this tier, not just onto the tier. We are absolutely in that tier, and I expect for us to hit the third tier pretty shortly, which means that we can then use $81 to split across 3 trades. But to be fair, I mean, if we find certain altcoins that we really feel is going to pump and there's significant opportunity there, we can stretch this out to 4, but that means that we're going to decrease the amount that we're allocating per altcoin, right? So we can add more altcoins. We just not allowed to expose ourselves to more than this 81 when we go on to the next tier. Right now, we're at $54 over here, but we cannot go or expose ourselves more than 28.50. And the reason being is that it keeps our trade size or position exposure the same. So if we win, lose, win, lose, win, lose, will be even. If we add to our position now, because we've ramped up to $54, it means that let's just say we double our exposure. It just means that we have to be wrong half the amount that we're right, and we'll wipe out all the gains that we've made. So this is why we do it like a stair step. We just make sure that we get up to 28.50, keep that as a foundation, and then we'll make our way up to 81. And before we get to 81, we won't increase our position size. So we've gone through that in length. As you can see, this is the Binance account. In the last 24 hours, we got out of our position well, the near position at 2.91. We sold Radium at 2.925, and we got out of Drift at 0.8908. So if we go through to Trading View, we will be able to see why we did this. Right, so let me just open up my chart. My apologies. There we go. So if we look at Bitcoin, we can see we've had a very strong move off these lows. And I always mention we're going to be breaking through this diagonal. The key was, are we going to be rejected at this level and come down, or are we going to pierce through it? Now, for now, we have gone through it. Let's just go down to the 4 hour and expand on this. You will see that we've just done a nice 10% move or thereabout of these lows. So we are going to take a little bit of a break. The question is this a false breakout or not? Now we do this by looking at, say, the daily. If this candle today closes beneath 117,200, well, then we can see this might even be a false breakout. Doesn't mean that we're going to go too much lower, but what it means is that the path could be more like it'll go from there, retest this descending resistance, and then we'll go up after that, right? Or what could happen is that it could just come down here, it finds support, it does not close below the support, and then we can bounce off there and go further. It also means, look, we could also just pop straight up. There's a lot of momentum behind this move, so I wouldn't be surprised. But I wanted to take some chips off the table just because we have done a 5.4x. I think that's fantastic news. Pat in the back for everyone who's been following those trades, and congratulations. The nice thing is that we've managed to do a 5x on an account where the markets have been moving broadly sideways. And so this is where the trading technique comes in, where we don't mind if the markets go up or down as long as they're trending in a certain way that is predictable and we exercise good risk management. It's imperative to understand that when we taking our positions, we are trading a certain technique that gives us the best possibility of getting consistent returns, and then we're compounding those with leverage. So, in my view, I think that opens up a door to significant opportunity, but it also means significant risk, and it doesn't mean it's going to come in consistently. We had to wait a few days, kind of a weeks, in the same positions, being patient, waiting for the correct move. We've got our move. We've taken profit. Roundabout now, people are going to be FOMOing in. They're going to be trying to, um, uh, you know, they want to get this move. They're probably going to start saying, "Oh, we're on our way to 150, or one on our way to 200K," which we might be, but it's not going to be a straight line. Well, it's unlikely to be a straight line. There will be a little bit of it needs to break through certain key indicators first. So let's just move on. So in drift, we got out at about 0.89, which was, let me go down to the 30 just to put this in perspective. That's about there. And I got out of the position last night. Reason being is because we were only a little way away from our take profit. We just come off these lows right now. We're 0.71. We had a nice move up, and I thought, you know what? I'm okay with just capping in that profit now. So I closed that position last night. Then this morning, I looked at radium and I looked at near. I also looked at reserve, which is RSR. That was a fantastic move that came on. We'll talk about this in a second. But you've got all these other coins that are kind of had a nice big move. I can see them pulling back a little bit just to take a little bit of profit, like we did. And over here, you got that turning over a little bit. That's on Bitcoin again. Um, on RSI, you can see that went right up into this resistance. So we were kind of hitting our heads on resistance on a few of the altcoins. So I thought there might be a bit of a pause. And that's why I thought, look, no, let me just take those profits off the table. I know we were going to make our way all the way up there or even to a 3.1. I thought, look, if we have a potential to go like that, boom, and then up like that, right? So we are going to be getting back into radium. We will be getting back into near, but we want to make sure that we want to lock in those gains that we had, right? So this could come down like that and then go up, or it could just keep on going up. If it goes up, it's not a problem. Again, we're buying on the support, right? So in terms of RSR, this is another one that I'm pretty keen on. I've been trading RSR, I think, for the last 5, 6 years, whatever, whenever they came out. I mean, it was in the last bull run, and they seem to move very nicely. RSR seems to move very, very nicely because its market cap is only 300 million. So in this respect, I am looking for it to be rejected here, which it is. You can see we got a very nice trend line there. Well, not trend line, but we got a very nice resistance. We're looking for a break above and then retest, and then we're going, right? However, if it goes down to this level here, I'm probably going to be buying there and we can go up. Again, we're looking at the risk reward of these. If we just put, say, let's say we get in over there, right? My risk is going to be just below that one there. And my upside, I'm probably going to put about here somewhere, right? So we're going to be looking at about there. I mean, that's 13 to 1. It's massive. It's really, really good opportunity. So just to show we got this big move. You're probably wondering, why did we get this big move? And the reason being is because if many things happen around interest rates, right? We cannot increase interest rates if the inflation's too high or anything that's going to cause inflation is too high. And interest rates normally get lowered or impacted by um, unemployment figures or anything like that. So if we have high unemployment and low CPI, low inflation, well, then this gives the Fed room to lower interest rates. That's very bullish on the economy. So the figures that came out yesterday, you had the US jolts and a few other things. Now I was talking about ADP, but that impacts non-farm payroll, which is going to happen only tomorrow. However, the US jobs data that came out, we got initial jobs coming up later on today. If if unemployment is rather to the high side, in other words, low employment, they could the markets could see this as a positive because that means that interest rates could be lowered and that obviously lubricates the economy and very bullish for the US equities market. So you almost have to look at what is not necessarily good and bad news, but how will the Federal Reserve react to that good or bad move? Does it give them ammunition in order to move forward with lowering interest rates? And if they can lower interest rates, well, then this is normally seen as a positive thing on the markets and very market supportive. So that is the update. I didn't want to take too long, but either way, we are out of all our positions right now. Congratulations to those who have now got a 5.4x on their account. And we will be looking for nice little pullbacks to get us into or back into drift, back into radium, back into near. And we are looking at RSR, and I've got an eye on a GRT as well. Now there's quite a menu there, but then again, we're only looking to fill a few places with our risk management. Remember, we don't want to increase our position size. If you're going back into these positions, make sure you do not increase your position size because that means that if you're wrong, you will lose money faster than you already made it, and you'll be back to $10 and or $20 very, very quickly. So be patient, wait for a pullback, get to those supports, and then go in at the same amount that you did otherwise. If you have gone up a tier, well, then you can add to that position later on. But make sure that you add to it in a way when you increase your or lift up your stop loss that you are always risking the same amount and you only increase your exposure incrementally in within that range. Have a great day, traders, and good luck. I'll speak to you tomorrow after non-farm payroll. All the best. Bye.